ديات كتلة قولو حيرو ودلت يو ما صرتو عم قابي شوتوسي توكوسي وأوعيتا ووثي مقوايو أسيريا تيفي مقوايو وقولتكو يميديا.
Hello, my name is Joseph Pirayou. I want to welcome you to today's program in the beginning, Ashur. As always, this is a live program that you're watching right now, noon California time. If you have any comments, any questions regarding this program, you can send it. And if I can answer, I will. If not, in the future programs, we will go over that. Saying this, I just want to wish all of my Ashuri brothers and sisters a Happy New Year. Of course, this is a date that some celebrate. Then we have another date, and this program is pretty much about the subject. This is a book that I have here. I mean, booklet. You see how, it takes you like 10 minutes to read it. And it's called Assyrian New Year Day, April 1st or not, and is written by Robert Baba. And it says Nisan first year 6755, which we have 6774 now. That makes that about 19 years ago that this book was published. First, I want to thank Robert Baba for writing this book, putting it together. I known him and his beautiful late wife, Catherine, so many years, and they were both active in our community back in Iran, coming back here to United States. So I have utmost respect for Robert on a personal basis and on the basis of writing and providing this booklet. And I just go over what is written here. So just get a picture of what is happening with this date. Is it March 21st, March 20th, spring equinox, April 1st, Gregorian calendar, Julian calendar? So many different options that, and Robert goes through this booklet here. In the beginning, book says to those members of Shushata Tanaya, whose dedication it was to unite the nation through Chab Nisan. So unity has been always for so many decades. I mean, even you go back, I don't know, maybe hundreds of years. But in recently, in past 70, 80 years, has been one of the main for the like patriots, that they love their nation, they love their people, they want to have unity. And this book is dedicated to those members of Shushata Tanaya whose dedication it was to unite the nation through Chab Nisan, through the Ashurian New Year. So it says back in the late 1950s and into the early 1960s, Shushata Tanaya Aturaya. This is the Assyrian national progress, with the objective of creating national identity and unity, preserved year after year to promote the Assyrian New Year Day. Shushatam Tanaya achieved this important goal by establishing a day that is a unique celebration of national identity. The day of celebration transcended the great diversity of our people while honoring us as a nation, an Assyrian nation. Assyrians everywhere belonging to different religious denominations. One more time. Assyrians everywhere belonging to different religious denominations, living in different villages and even different countries, belonging to different social and political organizations and churches endorsed the festivity, the day of Chab Nisan, April 1st of each year as beginning of the new year. So this is back in the 50s, 60s, pretty much every Ashuri everywhere was saying, okay, so that's when it was established, April 1st. About 20 years later, this would be like 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. So about 20 years later, a movement to adhere to our past lobbied to change the date of our New Year celebration from the endorsed date of April 1st to that of March 21st. A perceived discrepancy between the more recently established date for the celebration of the New Year, April 1st, and the assumed historical celebration of the Assyrian New Year on the day of the vernal or spring equinox on March 21st created a division that grows wider and wider each year. Now, the reason I'm reading this book is not to promote any date. I'm just, first, we have people that have spent time, they have spent energy, and they have spent their own money. This booklet doesn't have a price on it. So that means that these people published it, printed it, wrote it, spent time, spent energy. There is here, says the author wishes to thank the editor's effort of Terry Green, the artistic contributions of Marodin, Adwab Allab, and professional printing of Tiddy Printing. So all of these are involved for this effort to, as they said, to bring us together through celebrating our New Year. Now we have two dates starting about 70s, 80s, and that's what they're talking about. So I'm not endorsing neither one. The point of this program in the beginning, Ashur, is first identity. Then through identity, you have to know who you are before you unite, right? So this is the thing. Identity, then unity. So right now we have two dates. What are you identifying? This date, that date. I personally don't care. What I care is to come up with one date that every one of us agree who we are, then we can unite on that day. But now we have March 21st, the 28th, actually this year being a leap year, March 19th. It was at 8:06 p.m. California time. Spring started. Anyway, today proponents of celebrating the feast as the ancient Assyrians and Babylonians did on the day of the spring equinox hold the celebration March 21st. The rest of the nation continues to celebrate the Assyrian New Year on April 1st. We now have 2 days to celebrate our New Year, and each year the division between the respective celebrants grow deeper, contradicting the intention of unity for which the festivity was originated. There is so much written here. I know it's a small booklet, but I'm picking up parts here. As I said, I really not into picking a date, which one is right, which is not right. However, the author here, Robert, gives us proofs. So he goes to some detail. There is that British Museum, that tablet K15. Can we see that? So I don't know how many of you can read this, but this is, as it says, it was in a British Museum. And the translation that they provide here for us, if you can see that, is, it says on the 6th, do we have that? Yeah. Equinox on Nisan 6th. So on the 6th of Nisan, the day and the night were in balance, double hours of daylight, double hours of night. This is the transliteration. May Nabu and Marduk bless the King, our Lord. Then he has another tablet number K709. This is from the British Museum also. This is the copyright. It was done with permission. And the translation was done by the Royal Irish Academy. So this tablet, I don't know how you can come up to read this one. At least the first tablet was more clear. However, somebody has translated that, was able to read it, translate it, and it says, the writing that is on it, if you can see that, says equinox on Nisan 15th. So on the 15th of Nisan, the day and the night were in balance, double hours of daylight, double hours of night. May Nabu and Marduk bless the king, our Lord. So what Robert tries to go in detail is that there was not one specific date on the calendar that our ancestors were celebrating, because everything had to do something with the moon. And they have a photo here of moon. It says like the phases of the moon. We can see it, from day 1 to the 28th, and the calendar was based on the 28-day calendar. So basically, the date that they used to come up with the New Year celebration, if we can compare it to Easter, because Feast of Resurrection, but let's use the word Easter. So Easter does not fall on the same day every year. It depends on the calendar, when the Passover is. So based on the Passover, they come up with the day that the Resurrection Sunday or Easter. And if you go by the Julian calendar, that date falls like maybe 2 weeks later. So that's why we come up with 2 dates for Christmas or Easter. These calendars make the difference, but Christmas has a set date of December 25th or January 6th or 7th, whatever that is. But for Easter, they go by the lunar calendar, transfer it to solar calendar. So author is saying the date is not fixed. It depends on the moon. That's fine. Just reading the parts of this book. Another thing that Robert is mentioning in this booklet is that Akitu. So he's comparing Nisan being the first month of the year of the Ashuri or Assyrian calendar. So Nisan is the festival and Akitu festival. And he says, Akitu famed beyond the borders of Babylon and well beyond the fall of Babylonia through at least 300 AD. In a large area of Near East and Middle East countries is the Sumerian name used by a large number of cities and nations. However, studying the Simo Parpolo state archives of Assyria, the word Akitu rarely appears in Assyrian scripts. Mr. Simo Parpolo is an expert on Assyrian history, language. There is so much that he has done. I guess if you go to YouTube and put his name Simo, S-I-M-O, Parpolo, you can find out a lot of things that he has to say about history and language. And according to him, the word Akitu rarely appears in Assyrian script. If there is mention of the word, it is associated with the chapel, that is Akitu chapel, or building, or church. Simo Parpolo, in his extensive introduction on volume 10 of the State Archives of Assyria, makes reference only a few days before the great New Year's festival of Nisan, and in numerous other citations. In fact, the recent designation of Akitu festival as our New Year festival by few fellow Assyrians is inappropriate. Akitu is the name of a chapel and therefore refers to a place where of the festival. The festival takes place in or at Akitu, as opposed to place where or place of activity. The timing or when of the festival is therefore the Nisan festival. When is the time we intend to celebrate our New Year festival? That's the Nisan festival. So according to the findings that Robert has, Akitu is a place, and we're not there yet. We're not that one yet. So Akitu is a place, and Nisan is the name, or when. So he's talking later about the establishment of Gregorian calendar. And he says that let us leave the calendar to current authority and work towards the real national authority and unity from the steps of ground zero. Change is possible, but first one has to gain authority. Without authority, it is not revolution, but rather it is oligarchy. We will hear this again and again, that they were telling us, why don't you guys go and agree with each other and then come to us. That's a story that goes back to the time that they were telling us, why don't you guys unite and come back to ask for your nation? I think it wasn't the Paris Accord of 19, or Lausanne 1923 or something. Because since we could never agree on a thing, they said, hey, make up your minds, then come back to us. It's been over 100 years. So going back to the history of our calendar, we use the Gregorian calendar of Pope Gregory the 13th. Prior to that, we used another Roman calendar, that of the Julius Caesar, Julian calendar. And before that, it was the Babylonian calendar we used. And if we go all the way back, we have the Assyrian calendar. It is certain that now we do not want to adopt that. Good luck. Not knowing the foregoing specific, it was very clear to a majority of us, and definitely to those of us who knew more about the lunar calendar, that the days of the lunar calendar do not match with those of the solar calendar, as I mentioned earlier. Therefore, clearly, a single day like March 23rd of the Gregorian calendar could not have been the beginning of the historical Assyrian New Year. So basically, as I mentioned, these people, they're trying the Shushata, what is that, the Assyrian Progress, Assyrian National Progress. They were trying to do something, to come up. I mean, when you become hopeless, we got to find a way to bring our nation together, unify, get the identity straight, unification, you know. So Robert is mentioning how they came up with the year 6,755 at that time. Now we have 6,774. That's when our people started or began or celebrated. So it says Shushata promoted what Jean Alchas wrote in Gilgamesh. He quoted a French archaeologist referring to the year 4750 BC, and they added the year 1955 and came with the year number that we have today. Maybe there is more information about that. I really don't care about the year. Doesn't matter. Could be 10,000, could be 2,000, could be 7, whatever the number is. Point is the right, not the right date. The point is the unity, the identity. That's the main thing. So, and they started doing that. I guess this started in Tehran by this group, what we're doing now with this 6774. Before that, nobody had any idea what year it was or what date it was to celebrate. Probably after all the persecution that we were going to, that was the last thing of our mind to celebrate our new year and come up with a date. So these guys, Shushata, thank you for coming up with the slogan for national identity and unity. And they came up with a publication 1963. If you show that Assyrian writing, and this is what it says in English. Then let this holy day of Chab Nisan be the most known day of all Assyrian in the whole world, and this day to be a mean of unity and progress towards the goal that every Assyrian is waiting for it, that is, to live with unity and liberty under one name in the homeland of their own. Anyway, and at the end they have this call to unity, which was like that, what I read that they had published, says, by joining the majority in this celebration, you will once again endorse our national unity. We have survived and endured for thousands of years because of our united flexibility as a nation. There is nothing to gain by adhering to a well-intentioned but erroneous assumption that our forefathers rigidly adhered to a mythical date. As we have demonstrated, the date was a movable one. I encourage all of us to embrace our national unity by endorsing the current calendar date. The critical issue, that's how this booklet ends. The critical issue is not the date, it is identity and unity. It's very hard. It's very hard. Social media, different dates. As I showed those photos to you, we are mixing Akitu, Nowruz, Chab Nisan, celebrating it now. But among all of these things, there was a video shared. We have time, I think. Yeah. There was a video shared on Facebook. I don't know who shared it, but I want to thank whoever has been shared and reshared. And this is a video of a priest in Los Angeles, California. I don't know how many of you know Father George or Father Georgios Russia. I think he was promoted a certain level. I don't know. It's arch. I don't know. I don't want to mess it up, but he has at that level that he can, the highest level that he can achieve. Since he's married, he cannot go all the way up to become a patriarch. But that's beside the point. This video, when I saw that, I said, you know what? This might be, when you look at it, it's from a priest, but when you listen to it, and unfortunately, I can't play what he's saying. It's in Ashuri, but I'm doing my best to explain what Father Ashur is saying. Can we put this video? So it's like a 4-minute video that he's standing, I believe, in the courtyard of the church in LA, Los Angeles, and he starts by saying that this is personal. It's not related to denomination. It is not a call from the church or the denomination that we are, but he has a personal request that's he's asking from his people, from his nation. And he says, it is our duty to not only celebrate and honor the new year, and it's also to make it known to our children. And he says that during this 12-day celebration, and he believes that it starts from, March, the spring equinox. Says during this 12th day of celebration from March 20th to April 1st. He says that we are scattered, but we have same traditions, nationality. And he's asking every Ashuri to put a flag of Ashur outside of their house for the duration of these 12 days of festivities. And this will teach our their denomination to honor their identity and also let other neighbors know of who we are. Even though our land is not ours, but we can make our heart and houses the land that is Ashur. I hope I have translated properly. And he says, our flag is the source of our identity and unity. So this is the request that Father Ashur has done. There is that sign that somebody put it, the one that says April 1st. Can we see that one? Somebody put a sign on Facebook about we can order this sign. It says April 1st, Assyrian New Year, our flag, and it's written in Ashuri. And they said, if you can put the sign outside your house, you can purchase it here and there. Regardless, if you want to do a sign, if you want to put a flag, if you listen to Father Ashur is great. I used to go to LA for the food festival that they have annually. I haven't been there in a while. But when you go there, just people, they come, and even non-Ashuri, they come in, they, join, the dances, the food, everything is great. And when the closing ceremony, you see, I don't know how many Ashuri flags by our youth being waved, and it's a nationalistic event. Even though it's done in a church, it's done in the Assyrian Church of the East denomination. When you go there, it's just like, it's just uplifting. You forget about everything, all the headaches regarding I don't want to talk about anything negative, but you forget about all of this. You feel like you're one. You feel like you have the unity. And I just remembered the past few programs, somebody asked me, do I speak Ashuri? I do, but we need to communicate with all of us. See, I speak a dialect we call Eastern dialect, but since I'm from Iran, there is some Farsi involved. The accent is different. So the one speaking the Eastern dialect, mostly from Iraq, are Ashuri from Iraq, those areas, they understand, but sometimes they get confused. Imagine we have the other group of our people that they speak the Western dialect. When I speak, certain words they might understand, but we cannot communicate. That's the main reason that we are doing it in the language of today, which is international language, English. That's why I didn't put Father Rasho's his video, that what he's saying, because try to communicate with all of our people. We are all one people, even with two languages, this and that. But this is what I got when I saw the video. I don't care if you're atheist. I don't care if you're Church of the East, if you're Church of the West, North, South. I don't care. These people here spend times, they spend money, spend energy. 19 years ago, they wanted to communicate us. Brother, sister, we need to know who we are. When we know who we are, we can get united. And the hope is to go back to our land. I don't know when this is going to happen. But that's not the issue right now. The issue, if we do not identify as one, the unity is not there. Who's going to decide what the date is? I don't know. I'm not in the authority. Who is authority? Who are we going to listen to? Each church leader has their own authority. Do we have political groups? So if we want to think until we get that authority, we're going to even get even more lost and worse than that. However, when I sell something positive, I want to build on it. Father Rasha said, put a flag out there or put one of these signs out there, whoever put that video or photo, put a sign out there, send a photo to us. I mean, after we finish this program, I'm going to tell Stella, find me a flag on Amazon or whatever. We're going to find a pole. We're going to put it out there. Be an example. I don't care what denomination it is. He's saying the right thing. Put our flag out there to identify who we are. We need to take a stand for our people, especially those of us that are outside. We can speak freely compared to the ones that are at the homeland, aren't they? Isn't it right? Let's do that. Let's at least unite in this part. Put the flag, pole, whatever. Take a photo, take a video, bring your family, bring your dog, nothing, whatever. Just get a photo to show to the world. We scatter from all over the world here. New Zealand, Australia, down under, all the way to, Middle East, Europe, Canada, US. We're everywhere. Some of you that watch Assyria TV, share this. Tell people, come on, let's put a flag out there. I don't care about the date. Let's get that thing going, and I will show it on the program. We will show it on Assyria TV. I will be proud of you for doing that. Because for the next few weeks, we will be celebrating our New Year. And Happy New Year to my brothers and sister who celebrated on the equinox. And the unity dance is coming up. The song Sheikhani, Pirayou Ashur, Brichta Shitochon. Thank you. Goodbye.
Sheikhani.